Okay, Sagittarius, welcome to Tourmaline Tarot, and we're going to do your major issue for May reading, where we're going to pull from the majors from one deck, and then we're going to clarify with a whole other deck, and then we're going to do an oracle and see what's going on overall. And we're going to do it for life, finances, and relationships. 1, 2. Get a nice good one. 3. There she is. There it is. All right, here we go. So, in general, we have the Hermit. Okay? Do you feel like you've kind of maybe, you're like, I got stuff to figure out. I got stuff to do. You know, just because you're hermiting doesn't mean you're not busy. You know? With finances, you have death. So something's changing. And then relationships, universe. I feel like something also is changing. I feel like if you've had to kind of pull yourself out of the loop for a little bit to kind of embrace this other stuff happening, because you're just like, I can't add any more to this pot right now. You know, it's not necessarily a bad thing, because, you know, we're going to do the challenge and then we'll clarify. But, you know, that death card, you know, you could be getting a new job. You could be, you know, your financial circumstances could be changing because you know, like I said, change jobs. You change the way you invest money. You change something about the way you're spending or doing. And then the universe, I get more of a leveling up vibe. You know how it's like, if you've been through many phases of relationships, it's like a new thing. It's almost like you're bringing a new Sag to the situation. It's just like I said, you've kind of cleared the decks. You're starting, and you're just like, you know, you might, you know, I said you keep adding stuff to the pot. You might be like, it's a new recipe. Okay, it's a whole new recipe of Sag. So, what are we looking at? What's the challenge? Hierophant. How are you doing things? How are you going to bring this out? You know, once you finally are like, it's showtime. So, the Hierophant, it's like, what commitments are you making? You know, I want to say where you're putting your time even into doing these kinds of things. Now, with the Death, the Magician, you know, over top of that, that is like I said, you've cleared the decks. Now it's like, how are we manifesting this? I feel like the how is the hiccup, you know, because you know the nuts and bolts, but it's like putting it all back together. How is it going to look? Now, in the relationship area for universe, you have Justice. So sometimes I like to think justice is like an apology situation. So if anything's trying to come a knocking from the past, we'll get into it. But I think you kind of have to decide, because it's almost like, I almost feel like somebody wouldn't recognize you. They wouldn't even be like, Sag who? And you're like, oh, this one right here. Just pointing this out. So I'm going to give these couple rifle shuffles, and then we're going to clarify with Tarot of Mystical Moments. So in life, in general, what is Sag looking at here? Whoop, let's just spin around. We have the Fool and we have the Star. Okay, well, that's a good way to start off, right? So it's like, once you get out there, but also with the Fool, there's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just going. This is what I do. And then you have the Star, where it's almost like blind faith almost. You're just like, well, it's got to be out there somewhere. Chips are going to fall somehow. Might as well be in my favor. Now, I do want to get one more on that. 5 of Pentacles. With the Hermit energy, there's almost like, this is the how. This is like, if you have to ask for help, you don't know, like, how am I doing this? Or you feel like you are kind of solitary in this, because you know you have this stuff cooking, but I feel like others don't understand it. Like, you can't talk to them about it because they're not there. Like, you know, it's, you know, talking caterpillar, you know, talking butterfly to caterpillar. It's that kind of thing where it's like, they wouldn't understand. So it's difficult to ask for help or put it into words, because you kind of are on your own journey right now. Now, 5 of Pentacles, give me one on that. What? 8 of Wands. Yeah, there's that communication thing. It's like something's gonna click. it's going to click with that star energy, with that Fool. I feel like if you're doing stuff and you're putting things out there and people aren't getting it, like, I feel like you need to keep pushing that. Like, so you're going to find your butterflies. If you're currently with caterpillars, the butterflies, butterflies migrate. Like, you might have to, like, find your peeps. So going on with the Death and the Magician in the financial sector, what are we doing there? We have Nine of Wands. Once again, it's like very huddled. It's very huddled in. There's not a lot of out, except for this Eight of Wands. You're keeping it real close to the vest. You're not showing your cards. And, that's okay. Don't show them all you want. But what about this Nine of Wands? Wheel of Fortune. It's like, it's coming. It's clicking. You're just kind of waiting on that a little bit with this Wheel of Fortune. Like I said, the decks are cleared, and the Hermit. There it is again. You're just like, you know what? I got this. This is mine. This is what we're doing right now. And it's not in like an aggressive or mean way or sad way. It's just like, you need this time to reconfigure without anyone talking. Death. More change in the relationships. Like I said, somebody wouldn't recognize you. Not physically, but I just think that energy-wise, it's like you've changed. You've had some kind of morphing. You've had some kind of evolution where it's difficult to go back. Like, you don't go backwards from that. And if you try, it's incredibly uncomfortable, right? You're just like, this doesn't fit anymore. Queen of Cups. I think you are trying to just be gentle with the circumstances around you. And the Queen of Cups is having control of your emotions. You could be very, maternal and nurturing to other people, but, you're not coming off, like I said, you're not a jerk, but you're also just not vibing the same. So Queen of Cups, what are we doing here with that and the Death card? Temperance, there you are. Yeah, so there's a cycle that you've kind of like gone through. I feel like you're right, like the Fool. You're right on the edge. You're right on, like, you're right to be like, pew! Like, you're right about to go down that road. Now, the Hermit, I was like, what about it? King of Cups. So, there is, like, having your emotions together, being kind of, like, grounded in it, and you are being gentle with other people, and you are being kind, and etc. But on an inner level, it's almost like you're still doing the work. Like, you're not showing anyone what you're doing, but you're doing it. So if you have any kind of small business stuff cooking or anything in that way, it's almost like you're the man behind the curtain right now. And then when it's showtime, you're going to pull that curtain back and everyone's going to be like, what? Because King of Pentacles. Yeah, that's that boss energy where you're like, ha. Now, Temperance in relationships. What can Sag expect? Relationship-wise. That is way too many here. What can Sag expect in relationships? I don't know. That's too many, too. Just don't make me shuffle you. No, you have to threaten. So, you have the Seven of Swords and the Empress. Like, remember how I said if you tried to go back, it would feel fake? Or if and then she has the Maternal and Empress came out. So, I feel like you're being kind, but you're also not giving a lot of things in that respect, because Seven of Swords is always kind of like a looking over my shoulder energy. It's not necessarily, if we're talking about me, talking about you. It's like looking over the shoulder, because somebody could have done, cruddy stuff in the past, and you're also like, I'm going to stay in my power. I'm going to be kind and gentle and not let this burn me, but at the same time, get out of my face. It's like boundaries have been made. I mean, it's good. I'm not going to say it's bad, but it's almost like you have too much moving in a positive direction to allow anything to try and scooch back in. Now, I do want to get this 8 of Wands. I always get nosy. Like, what's the communication? What can Sag expect communication-wise? Let's see. One more. What's the communication that Sag is kind of sitting on here? We have King of Pentacles. And there's multiple King of Pentacles in this, but it's just, if this does not reaffirm you, I don't know what to... Yeah, you're waiting to be like, by the way, boss. So much boss. So I would keep your nose to whatever grindstone you're grinding upon, whether that's, you know, a career, a project, something that you're doing, that you're keeping real, like, inside. But you're being nice at the same time. Just wait to be like, ta-da! Like, and I want to know what it is. Like, you know, tell me. I want to know. I'm nosy. I told you I'm nosy. Now we're just going to do the oracle here. This one can get a little saucy, so we'll see what's going on. So what can Sag expect in May? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 6, 7. Physician. So physician, that's not necessarily like you have to go to the doctor, you have health stuff. Physicians diagnose, they fix stuff at like kind of like a root level. They're supposed to be able to do that. So what are we working? What are we fixing? Desire. Yeah. So you are, you know, the doctor, the physician is also the one that's able, you know, has the power to heal, has the power to do that stuff. And you have this desire to do that. But like I said, there's that sadness, that hermit energy is still around you. That's why I'm taking the hermit dude. Because I mean, like, would you want to hang with that dude? You know, he has a little bit of the hermit action going on. So, you know, like I said, the 5 of Pentacles back here. Remember I said people don't get it. Or like you're trying to tell people like that you can't really share it. So that does put you in a part. But merriment. Like remember I said like you're not like in a, like a, oh my gosh, I'm so depressed phase. It's just more like you can't show your side of the self right now. And then the visit. I feel like that's kind of like the reveal. So you do feel kind of a little imprisony at the moment because you can't just, you know, arrival. I feel like it goes all back to this whole, like, you can't explain yourself because no one will get it, but you really just know you have to do it and you just don't have time to explain. I want one more on this. Pride. You know what? I'd keep it up. And if people tell you to scrap stuff or, you know, oh, that's not going to work, you know, like, you know, that would be my response. Just do that, Sag. I really think it'll get a good response. All right, Sagittarius, so that's what your major issue for May, and I will talk to you in a little bit.